Hello, welcome back to our podcast, Health Unscripted on your path to vitality. Today we are talking about stress, toxins, and hidden chemical load in our modern life. Today have Mr. Anil Grover with us. So I'm going to ask him about his book today, first of all. So I read your book, Mr. Grover, and one line stayed with me. We scrutinize jet fuel more than what we feed ourselves. So, would you elaborate on that?
Yeah, if someone told us that the jet fuel is tampered, so we know the plane may crash, so we get very worried. But the plane, the body which God has given us, it comes for free, so we don't value it that much and we feed
Right.
it with not so healthy foods. So that's the line, what it means.
Absolutely. Right. So, most people think food as calories, energy, or taste, emotions. They always relate food to these kind of virtues or taste or calories or not things, but yes. Uh, but you describe it almost as biological information in your book.
Yes, that's what we miss out because when anything comes into us, epigenetics, so food being one of them, they contain, have information to make our genes work. Our body works through the expression of our genes. So it takes the information of what to do from the food. And if there's
How?
some harmful chemicals in it, so it will express accordingly to save us from those harmful chemicals.
What do you mean by harmful chemicals in the food? So, are they hidden toxins, harmful chemicals in the food?
Toxins, yes. Processed foods with toxins, yes. So, so that information, that is the information for the genes, and they have to respond accordingly.
Yeah, that sounds frightening. Wasn't the human body designed to handle toxins, since we know liver is the organ which metabolize all the xenobiotics, quote unquote toxins. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Of course, we are designed to handle because the very purpose of surviving, of digesting food, metabolizing food itself produces toxins, reactive oxygen species. Like, when you drive a car, so it produces carbon dioxide. So this process also will produce some toxins. So the body is designed to handle that toxins automatically. But when we take in toxins extra through modern chemical environment, so that can put extra load on the liver, extra
Right.
pressure, because it's already designed to do that, and to counter that also with antioxidants coming from foods itself. But when the foods coming in are not all that well, in an intact state as they should be, they are processed along with other things also. For example, when we have foods, maybe we microwave them in plastic containers. So plastic containers, the plastic molecules can leach into the food when it's being microwaved or heated, or water in plastic bottles lying in the car, very hot weather, same effect. Pesticides on foods, when they are ultra processed, the intelligence of the food is taken away when it's ultra processed, when we're only looking at macros, air pollution, preservatives, our stress
Right.
hormones, poor
Yep.
sleep. So already the body is already has to tackle from the natural processes plus all this coming in. Otherwise, it's designed to handle.
Right.
Yes.
But I have a serious question right now. For example, in some foods there are some additives, and they say they are labeled as clean foods, but there are some ingredients like gums, fillers written on the, in products, food products. So, what do you think about them? Are they also considered toxins? Are they harmful, or any other kind of additives we should be aware of, or are they not considered as toxins? Body will just process it, or they will just pass.
They are chemically engineered, so anything chemically engineered has to be handled accordingly. It's like a information for our genes, our body, because our genes don't change. So we evolved with something natural, to have natural, whole, close foods to nature as possible. So when these are like almost designed in labs to preserve emulsifiers and enhancers, colors, all these things to make it easy for us, happy for to excite us, to give us that feeling of a dopamine kick. From they're designed in such a way, so but we don't realize what message they are sending to the genes, to the body, how to handle them, and the entire burden goes on the liver. It has to first take care of them or hide them. The toxin means they have to be hidden and stored away somewhere, or they have to, or extra effort is required to process them, to make them safe, to eliminate or throw them out of the body. Because if they are not made safe and just shunted out of the body, wherever they are traveling, they'll cause damage to the body. So our
So the
body
body is
produces chemicals like glutathione, and we have we take in through foods, plant-based foods, mainly vitamin C and minerals and selenium. These all are antioxidants to process, to help the liver to neutralize them.
right. So, you mentioned about plastics. So, what
Yes.
happens with them? How they are causing problems since they are unreactive and undegradable? So, how they are affecting us?
Yes, so many people know about it. Maybe some still don't know. They are called BPA, the ones which cause problematics, or phthalates, and they're also known as forever chemicals. So they resemble human hormones. So hormone is a signaling molecule. So it disrupts the entire system in the body. It affects metabolism. The signaling is wrong because that's gene expression, right? Because food is information. So that's how this is happening. It can affect inflammation, fertility. So all these problems happen. So food is not just calories. There's a code written in it,
Right, right.
and the body can read it. The cells read it. Those genes.
So the body is already has managed oxidative stress daily.
Daily, it's when through living, just living purpose, lots of work is being done which produces oxidative uh, stress, which I just told you, and it's countered. But when the balance goes out of proportion, when there is too much of inflammatory signals through foods coming in, and we don't have enough counter molecules, antioxidants, then we get sick. Inflammation can lead to the genes expressing in a very wrong way.
So what's one toxin exposure almost everyone listening can relate to immediately?
See, at home, many people think when people are coming, my home is so clean, shining, and it's the fragrance at home is so good also. So we could have been creating a clean home, but a very toxic home. Cleaning with chemicals, air fresheners, chemicals, scented candles, scent going very close to the neurons here are very close to the brain. It can get past the blood-brain barrier very easily. Fabric softeners, someone coming home, so the bed fabric are also fresh, nice. But what has it been cleaned with? They're all chemicals. Dryer sheets, cleaning sprays, synthetic perfumes. to welcome the person home, non-stick cookware to cook quickly, mosquito repellents, plastic shower curtains, warm water falling on the plastic shower, we are inhaling. No? So the moment there's lots of fragrance to smell, means it's synthetic. Even natural things won't be having that much fragrance. And sometimes we open some new products and there's a wonderful, exciting fragrance. Yes, these are all volatile compounds and we are breathing them in, and we are breathing them in the whole day when we live in such houses. Visually very clean, but toxic levels extremely high and bad. So we have to be aware of this.
So what about
And if
packaging?
we are not ventilating a house, it's more bad.
Yeah.
On top of that, the fragrance we spray all comes into play.
Yeah. Being a woman, yes, always spraying some
So
fragrances.
we think that we are living in a very clean house, but biologically, the genes are interpreting this information in a different, toxic, dangerous way. But still preventing, still supporting us means the liver has to work very hard.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So even packaging can affect biology.
We already just spoke about it. Packaging will have molecules, which we just said. Same.
Yep.
What is the food
Yep.
packaged in? And nowadays we see the packaging is so inviting and exciting. No, but is the packaging, what is it made of? Is it natural or is it again heavily chemicalized? Because it's in touch
Yeah.
with the food.
Yeah. So you have already concluded like toxins just not come from food, it is coming from home environment too. Right?
Yes.
And so the home itself can become
And
toxic.
that also is reaching the genes and instructing them accordingly.
Right. So you also mentioned about the heavy metals earlier. So what about that? Where are
We are
people
also
exposed to
exposed
those?
to heavy metals. No?
Yeah. So how we? So my main concern is like heavy metals. How we can deal with it?
First of all, heavy metals, the ones which we get to hear a lot, people who are aware of this, would be mercury, lead, cadmium, arsenic, and minerals. So they're all in the soil. So they will be absorbed by the plants. So sometimes concentrated plants would be supplements, let's say. The
What do you mean by? Oh,
supplements, powders,
okay.
they could be having higher concentration of these heavy metals, which block and disrupt the enzymes which make energy in the mitochondria. So
Oh, you
that's
mean
why.
this? You mean the superfoods like they have been selling the powders sometimes from the plants, and they are concentrated form of some plants and
They may be in that, yes. They may also, for
yeah.
example, cadmium is found in chocolates, cacao,
Oh,
mercury from in fish.
so in
No?
all chocolates?
Normally, they will always check for cadmium. Yes, cadmium is often found high in chocolate, but if it's not, governments keep checking about it. Everyone is aware. Government is aware of it, so there are controls about it. There are controls. Cadmium bin ki high, lead in unregulated supplements. So whenever people buy supplements, the good company will say tested third party for heavy metals. It is said that people who are aware of it, arsenic, rise, a very strong, powerful carcinogen.
Yeah.
No? Carcinogen too. So carcinogen means they have affected the gene. The
So
gene
they remove.
expression has been affected. So it's information. So it's information.
So they remove these heavy metals since they are aware of these heavy metals are present. Do they
Yes, it depends
remove?
how they are processed. Yes, the industry, the government industry does have rules. Yes, they have rules about it because they are known that they are carcinogen, or at
Right.
least they disrupt the mitochondrial energy production.
Hmm.
That's why then we say I'm feeling tired and trying to do everything, but something is wrong, brain fog.
Heavy metals are making us heavy,
Yes.
so so toxins can actually affect our cellular energy
Yes,
production. Yeah.
100%. So it's all
Yeah.
this is known in science.
Yeah.
Exactly in the cellular energy production, at which pathway, at which stage, which heavy metal will block it or stop it is known.
Yeah. So can you give some examples of preservatives or additives people consume daily, regularly, like they are doing it daily?
Any food which is packaged, any food which can lie unspoiled at home longer than naturally it should last for 2 3 days, but which is lasting for 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, is having preservatives. So they are also necessary because maybe to some extent, because otherwise they will get contaminated with bacteria and mold immediately. So to some extent, but are they having too many preservatives? Which kind of preservatives? So
Hmm.
everything packaged.
Right, 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 right.
Snack cakes, chips, instant noodles, deli meats, frozen ready meals, sugary drinks, soft drinks, packet sauce, protein bars, brightly colored candle. Everything will be having preservative, emulsifiers, stabilizers to make them look, feel nice, artificial colors to make them attractive, synthetic flavor enhancers.
God. Yeah.
Yeah. But when we are taking them in as foods, epigenetics, these chemicals also influence the genes. And the body and the liver is also to process them. Not that we only process foods, but what about other things which has come in? And the genes were not made or designed to handle these things, but still it has the resilience because we change the way we make foods, industrial societies now, but genes won't change. They are inherited coming along as
Yep.
we got them.
Yep. 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 So the nutrients are also stripped of these packaged foods too,
Yes.
right?
Yes, when we are processing them, all nutrients will, because the intelligence, once the food is processed, the intelligence, the wisdom of that food is lost.
That's energetically powerful sentence. Yes. So,
For
yeah,
example, when you're
that
talking about they are stripped of protective nutrients because science will pick up fads, latest trends going on. So sometimes
true.
maybe
Yes.
something science shows that this macro is good for health. So now somehow we have to extract that macro because this science has said it's good for health, but in the extraction process we will lose the natural things coming along with it as a whole food that is lost. So although it's being sold
Absolutely.
as healthy and that macro could be healthy, but we have lost the wholeness of it.
Absolutely.
Because berries, for example,
Yeah.
berries will contain not only one vitamin C, but antioxidants, they'll have phytonutrients, they'll have polyphenols. These all again gene regulators. They are signals, minerals, cofactors. And nature, when they provide the food to us whole as it is intelligently packed and provided to us, but we manipulate it to meet the demand of fads. It's very powerful and money, and then we can sell it, and that's how it goes.
We
But
don't
it was
respect the
already, but
nature,
it's
yeah.
already being provided intelligently by nature already. So we are just tampering with it.
Looks like we don't respect nature and we manipulate it all the time, right? Okay.
So what?
So
So then, what
that's
happens when you do this? What happens? Normally in nature, we don't get anything isolated. So you'll hear a lot of word isolated protein. So protein is good for health, but it is
yes.
isolated. So the body's
Yes.
information in it for handling the genes expression will be different now.
Yes, it's
Some
like
intelligence
pure
there has changed.
isolates. Yeah. Isolate this, isolate that,
So if
isolate is always
isolated
there.
was good, nature would have provided us isolated macros. We would have got it from nature.
Absolutely.
But nature's giving us in a package where everything is there in a certain percentage.
So natural packaging is good, but the human packaging is bad. Yeah.
Natural packaging is only the skin full of antioxidants to protect the plant, vegetable, or fruit, and which when we have that, so we also get that protection.
Right. Right. That's interesting. So, because processed carbs and fats are criticized, but heavily processed protein products are often often marketed as healthy. You know that, right? So how is it? Like why so?
Same, we just said because it's seen in a different context. No, because the context is changing. The
Yeah.
information intelligence is being stripped away. So we know
Yeah.
like, okay, protein is required. It is required because it does much more than muscles. It's making immune cell, it's making hormones, neuropeptides, lots of important functions. But when it comes from nature, it comes along with other things also, right?
Yeah.
But when we are isolating them, so the same thing is happening. So although protein is healthy, but it's isolated, but it's having sweeteners, emulsifiers, synthetic flavors, so that we are overlooking, and we just see at, oh, this small protein bar has 10 or 15 grams of
Yeah.
protein, but we
Yeah.
overlook the rest of the things which the body has to process. So it could be having in the long run a different coding genetic expression, and long run it could be hampering. Again, when it is highly isolated, concentrated, so they are known, proteins are known to immediately increase insulin growth like factor, IGF-1, which immediately opens up the pathway of mTOR and blocks AMPK, and mTOR is associated with aging.
Yes.
mTOR is aging, quick turnover of cells growth.
Right. Right. Right.
So all that is not mentioned, but one objective is picked up, and only that is advertised, and because it is important good. So same protein a person can take, through maybe who are non-veg, eggs, they get everything then with the protein, or wild salmon, or just lentils for vegetarians, then extracting them. So the more we can go to whole back is better for the body because of that intelligence, the information in the food. But for vegetarians, they have to be careful that they can go low on protein, so they have to eat very intelligently and carefully.
Absolutely. So we should not count any macros.
Otherwise, too much of processing becomes toxic, not same for the expression
Yeah.
of the genes. Yes, so what were you saying about macros? Correct, yes. So only macros is just one part. Calories and macros is one part of the story. Behind it is the wisdom which is being stripped away, which is not being taken into account. Only one factor is being promoted
Okay.
because that shows something which is visible to the eyes, our body. But behind in the body, what's happening, that's not being taken care of.
Yeah. You in your chapter you have also described stress as toxin too.
Yes, so again, because we are talking about epigenetics food, which
Right.
is information for our genes, which is the basis of the body's functioning. So when we talk about stress, we don't realize the stress also releases chemicals, molecules. One of the first molecule to be released is cortisol, right? And cortisol will increase long term, will increase inflammation, Oxidative stress, what we just spoke about, and digestion will become weaker, blood will be unstable, and this, so stress is more like a defensive mode
Right.
inside the body, a healing mode. So always if I'm just in defensive mode, so I'm somehow, the problem what has become now, what we are talking about is that we are not only chemically overloaded with all these ultra processed foods. Like everything is actually, if you look into it, everything is, the Western world is processed. Less fat, zero fat, less this. It's all manipulated, all industrialized, as if the food is being made in a lab, not in a kitchen. We don't
Right.
realize it. Compared to, if you know, the old what our parents had, dal, roti, sabji.
Yep.
That's the closest you can go to nature. So less extracted. So everything is isolated.
Yeah.
So we are
Even
not
people
only
are
now,
isolated.
okay.
So that's interesting because modern culture also glorifies stress and pressurizing people at work. Do you think, like, what do you think about it? Yeah.
That's up to you whether you take the pressure or not. Simple as that. You can't stop the other people from pressurizing you, but how you respond, that's in your hand.
Yeah, but yes.
Yes. So now we are
So what about
emotionally overloaded
glorifying
too.
it? So what about glorifying it?
Yes, I can handle more stress. I'm better than you. People think that to be kind of an extra badge I can put on. Now,
Right.
how much stress do you handle? If you tell me your stress story about your workload,
Yeah.
I'll say, okay, in my workload, I handle 10 times more stress. So as you have done
Yeah.
something great. But
So you're
we
more
just spoke
capable
about,
than me.
but we just spoke about stress, that it's
Yeah.
releasing chemical messengers, hormones, and if it's happening
Mm-hmm.
every day, I have to pay a toll for it. If my body is constantly in an inflammatory state
Mode. Yes, of
mode.
course. True. True. Okay. This conversation could make people anxious too because we are talking about stress. So, what's the empowering message here?
The message is that if the body was not intelligent enough or resilient, we would have perished long time back. So body, the system which has been given to us, we don't value it, is very, very
Very important.
strong, wonderful, much better than what we started the talk today, much more sophisticated than an aeroplane. No matter aeroplane, something goes wrong in the petrol, it'll come down. But for us, something goes wrong, we still carry on.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
similarly, we don't need perfection or get too fearful by reading that I can't have this, I can't have that, or what's
Yeah.
written on the labels. So really to support my liver, because I am going to be encountered with all these toxins we spoke about. I have to breathe, I have to drink the water, but so where I can control in my hand what I can do, if we do it, slow steps also will help a lot. That's basically, I just said, go back to what our grandparents were eating, because the
Absolutely.
genes are coming from long back. So it's tuned.
Yep.
The wisdom of that food is tuned with a genetic blueprint. So just to eat whole, real foods, not foods which are not cooked in kitchens but are cooked in labs, not those foods.
Right,
as
right,
as
right.
much as we can, because sometimes life has become such that we won't have that luxury of that time in the Western world. So balance is needed, awareness is needed,
Right.
how much and what to do, and to see that okay, we have adequate protein but coming in from proper sources. Because whenever we are doing tests, oat tests, I notice that protein is less for vegetarians. We notice it, that this test shows us, you know? So, so to be aware of that, how to manage that. Colorful vegetables, water should be clean, movement should be there, and seeing that I am enough movement, that I am perspiring, sweating, so that perspiring, so that toxins. That's one way of toxins to be released, removed. Sleep, stress reduction. We spoke about it. Sunlight, deep breathing. No plastic
Absolutely.
containers or plastic food being heated in plastic or plastic bottles. Fresh air, windows. and emotional peace and not getting affected when in your office you're coming under stress. To have
One
methods
second.
to respond positively. Right.
Yeah.
So
So,
what we just said was that whatever we were saying, we have to do this. So realize this is again information reaching your genes, epigenetics. Right. That's it. And the genes will accordingly run our body.
that's true.
So if you are supporting it, so it's more like easy for the body to be functioning without much pressure or stress or oxidative stress or inflammation.
Yeah.
So the body heals best when we stop overwhelming it. Overwhelming it with too much of processed foods also can overwhelm the body to manage it because we miss the information in that food, the
Right.
intelligence in that food.
Right.
So the talk is about awareness, not that this is wrong, that is wrong. Balance and awareness.
Yeah, I love that conversation is about awareness, not fear. So it's good. So, well,
Yeah.
I love the talk today,
Okay.
and that's quite a awareness for the people, for our audience. I hope people listen to it and follow that.
Yes.
Okay.
So health is
Thank
just, so just before ending to make it more simple. So if I want to be healthy and we want everyone else to be healthy, so remember that it's not that some very particular things I'm going to eat or do. It's just by every meal is having a effect on my body or my blueprint. Every meal, every
Yes,
breath, every thought will release a chemical. My every daily habit and
absolutely.
small things, small steps done today itself can start changing the entire biology of the body. We
Yeah,
don't need fancy things, fancy foods, or fancy techniques, or fancy, just these basic things really. Back to nature, back to the beginnings.
right, right, right,
Because nature knows how to heal us, it remembers. But we have to start listening and just take it easy.
right. Okay.
Anything you have to end to say?
I think, yeah. This conversation I liked. So, since I have read your book too, so I'm always thinking about
So,
the toxins I'm consuming these days. Are you saying something? Did I talked over you?
no, no,
No.
no, no.
Okay.
I just want you to say, yes, all this, what we spoke, is written in the book.
Yes,
I've
so
written
it's
it in the
written in the
book.
book, and I am right now quite aware about the chemicals, what I'm consuming or what I'm applying, or anything I'm inhaling. Since
Or emotional stress.
I'm trying that too, so it's good. Uh, the conversation was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you, Mridula, and thank you, everyone. Yes, so just simple steps back to nature, back to the beginnings. That's it. Really, I think
Yeah,
about these things a lot.
it's time to move back to the
Yeah, we
beginnings.
have moved into too much of reductionist isolation, isolated reductionist science.
Isolated people, isolated proteins,
Not people,
isolated.
and maybe I would blame partly to you sitting in your lab. This is what you're doing, working on very fragmented, reductionist, isolated genes and expressions, right? Counting the behavior.
That's my work. Can't handle it like that.
We stop thinking about the whole scene, whole picture now.
Yeah, so I can see that.
And the industry is waiting. What can they pick up? And the influencers are waiting to pick up something to start their reels, and industry is waiting to start to make a product and monetize. That's it. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, see you next time. This was a fun conversation. I hope you guys enjoy our talk and have some takeaway notes from our conversation. Thank you. Thank you so much.